Responsibility for what follows is not my department.
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it is my privilege to announce on behalf of the Prime Minister, who is unavoidably detained, that this government is pleased to announce that this government has the pleasure of unveiling today a massive and historic, yes, even monumental new initiative in a field of great significance to Canadians and perhaps to all people.
Sounds pretty routine. I wonder why the minister wanted us to watch.
I don't know.
We all agree that the hand of government hangs heavy on the shoulder of the private sector.
Here we go.
For that reason, this government is pleased to announce a large-scale expansion of its much-admired privatization program.
I wonder who the lucky winner is this time. We're just about out of airlines and railroads.
Guess so.
You don't seem too thrilled about it. Something wrong?
My brother's in town.
Oh, which one? The tycoon?
They're all tycoons, Gerald. Today it's Tycoon Morgan.
Oh, Tycoon Morgan. Older, blonde, suntan tennis player.
Wrong. Younger, blonde, suntan tennis player.
So he offers you a job in the family firm. You say no. He pays for lunch. You go home. Worst things happen at sea, as my Uncle Bruce used to say.
I know, but it just gets to me.
Well, cheer up. You heard the deputy PM. It's not every day you get to start a monumental initiative.
That's comforting. Thanks, Gerald.
Vidmem of epic dimension.
A Hercules movie?
Pulled Hercules tendon one. Power jogging. Now, closest attention, please, for Minister's privatization thrust.
Gerald, it's always good to be able to talk to you. And, Mr. Wiley, it's good to be able to talk to you, too.
Thank you, Minister.
Gerald, as part of the expanded privatization program announced today, each department will be asked to identify areas which can usefully be sold to private corporations. I know that I can count on the support of you and your people, and Mr. Wiley will be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Powerful message from Minister.
Nicely photographed, too.
Hello, Morgan.
Here you are.
Good to see you.
You look great.
Oh, thanks.
Family sends her love.
Thank you. That's good. Oh, Gerald, I'd like to meet my brother, Morgan Simmons. Morgan, this is Gerald Angstrum, our deputy minister.
Morgan. Margaret's told me so much about you.
Well, we're all very proud of our Margie and what she's accomplished here, doing whatever it is she does.
Oh, she's one of the best, our Margie is.
Someday she'll rank right up there.
Or even higher. Well, I've got to go do whatever it is I do, but it's really nice meeting you.
It's a pleasure.
Nice shirt.
Thank you. Nice fellow. What is it that he does again?
He's our deputy minister.
Any place in this town to get a decent meal?
I just don't like the heavy hand of government hanging on my shoulder, you know.
Henri, the heavy hand of government is heavily handing out money.
I don't take it. I believe in the free enterprise system. My father believed in it and my grandfather when he built the wagon.
Look, Henri, I respect your family, but all I know is that I don't want to be privatized.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, I have to deal with the government all the time.
Well, you'll have to get used to it, my friend.
Oh, you've heard?
Yeah.
Well, some of us are going to lose a little.
And some more than others.
Unfortunately so.
Too bad about yours.
What?
Yes, privatizing the whole thing. Who would have believed it?
Wait a minute. The whole thing? Not my department.
That's what my sources say.
See you later, Henri. Put it on the tab. guy had to be alert in this town, I thought, as I walked along the filthy streets. No matter how big you thought you were, there was always a memo with your name on it.
You know, Margie, your job in the company is still waiting for you.
I know. Thank you. But I think...
You know, we're all vice presidents now, and, well, you could be one, too, even though...
Even though I'm a woman.
I wasn't going to say that.
Yes, you were.
No. Well, we've got lots of... Well, we have some women in top positions now.
That's nice. Has Daddy got them all making little sandwiches with the crust cut off?
He's changing, really. We're all changing. Well, you could, well, you could...
Help? Are you saying that to me, little Margie, that I could help?
Yes. Yes, I guess so, sure.
That's interesting. I'm touched. Really. Cheers.
Privatized?
Why is it every time I hear that word, I want to cross my legs?
No offense, but who would want to buy an entire government department?
Well, some really big outfit. Someone who's bored with just owning movie studios, newspapers, baseball teams, and breakfast cereals.
But how can they do that? We give them all those grants and incentives and everything.
I know what you mean.
Oh, Mr. Wiley's outside. That's what I came in to tell you.
Send him in. How's he taking the news anyway?
He looks happy. He's doing something that might be whistling.
Angstrum, great future for Dritta's hyper-efficient private corp going where public sector feared tread.
I'm glad this makes you happy, Mr. Wiley.
A large office, many windows for hard-nosed private sector biggies such as yours truly.
So how's the minister taking it?
Minister on cloud 10. Prospect of privatized Drit makes minister dance on ceiling.
The cabinet shuffle?
Beg pardon?
Nothing. And he sent him a buyer yet.
Best news yet, Angstrum. New day dawning. Conglomerate mega giant about to ink deal.
Which mega giant would that be?
Colossal Holdings, Inc., titan of corporate world. Keep on to hat.
Colossal Holdings.
Correct. Fun people. My privilege to personally attend school with some.
So, that's very nice, Mr. Wiley, but what are we supposed to do about this in way of preparation apart from polish our shoes to a high gloss?
Get out welcome, Matt. Advance team here soon with particular interest in this office. Possible future site, executive dining room.
So far, the fat cats were winning. Who knew where they'd hit next? I'll be in the meeting, Faye.
PR called. They're getting inquiries from reporters who seem to have the privatization story. Do we confirm, deny, or what?
The usual.
Everything they might have heard is premature.
Right. And that goes for everything they might not have heard.
Okay, I'll pass it along. How do you think they're going to take the news in there?
With their usual calm professionalism, I'd imagine.
Privatized?
I don't believe it. But I thought this was just going to be another new name. We had a pool on it and everything.
Mine was Department of Rural Industrial Transition.
Does anyone else any comments on this? Hank?
Well, have you any idea what our private sector name might be?
Well, I'm suggesting.
As soon as I find out, you'll be the first to know.
Why should he be?
Now, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, please keep this under your hats, and I'll let you know as soon as there's anything definite.
Do we get to speak French in
I don't have.
Have you talked to the minister?
Not yet. Mr. Wiley says he's on cloud 10.
Formerly Cloud 9?
After inflation.
This is odd. I can understand Mr. Wiley being wild about privatization, but how can the minister be on Cloud 10 when it's his own department being privatized?
Well, he's not. He's not even on cloud 4, but he's a good soldier, and he's a member of the government, and this is government policy, so he puts a brave face on it.
Meanwhile, Mr. Wiley thinks the minister loves the idea.
So Mr. Wiley loves the idea.
So how are you taking it?
Like a career public servant or the captain of a sinking ship. And you?
As it turns out, I have options.
Oh, the family firm.
Uh-huh.
Laying on a pretty heavy hand, are they?
Attractive offer, actually. A vice presidency. And they're willing to forgive me for being a woman and for having worked in government.
Oh, they're really pulling out all the stops, huh?
Well, maybe it's not a bad time to be leaving government. With all this privatization going on, Simmons Consolidated is looking better and better.
I see. When in doubt, look for the sign that has your name on it.
Oh, I wouldn't put it quite like that.
Well, it's true we can't name a department after you, but at least we didn't hire you because you know the minister's home phone number.
I don't know the minister's home phone number.
Yeah, but your brothers don't know that. They probably think you know everybody's home phone number. The blonde was mad. She gave me a glare that would melt a desk organizer. I reached for a Lucky, then remembered I didn't smoke.
All right.
It was just a figure of speech. You wouldn't happen to have a Lucky, would you?
What about other departments?
They say that parts of national defense going like hotcakes. Well, today you never know when you might need an army. Es-tu d'accord, Robert?
Bonjour, Matelot. Tout bien d'arriver en ville.
Might I inquire as to the physical whereabouts of the ADM?
Miss Simmons is, well, that is, she has some personal business to take care of.
She's given in her notice, hasn't she? She's taking out her pension money.
No. But when are they moving in?
They're already here. Excuse me.
It's just a bid. It hasn't been accepted yet.
Oh, quelle catastrophe, n'est-ce pas, Robert?
Un peu se cacher dans la grange en attendant la fin de l'orage.
Are you sure you don't have a Lucky?
Well, it'll be great to have you back, Margie. It'll be fun. Did you know that they put in tennis courts at the new plant?
Clay?
Mm-hmm.
Terrific.
Think you can still beat me?
Yes.
You want to make a bet?
What's our traditional amount?
$1.33.
You're on.
Hello. Our special today is the poitrine de canard de Bavarie au Jerez et coulis de pêche. That's grilled breast of chicken.
Are you sure?
Duck. Grilled breast of duck. Served with a sherry sauce and a peach coulis.
Sounds good. I think I'll have it.
And the salad is
steak. Medium.
Very good. Thank you.
Sure hope they're quick today.
Why, do you have to get back to the Titanic in a hurry?
Morgan, that's beneath you.
I'm just being realistic, Margie. The buzz is that your rinky-dink little department's going to bite the dust. You came over to us just in time.
If Drit is so rinky-dink, why is Simmons Consolidated making someone from Drit, namely me, a vice president?
Eventually.
I beg your pardon?
Well, eventually you'd be a vice president.
Oh, I see. And how is someone from this rinky-dink department going to be of use to the family firm until eventually comes?
Well, you know we have dealings with the government. Contracts become available and...
And I know people's home phone numbers.
Don't get all moralistic on me now, Margie. Don't forget, we're doing you a big favor getting you away from there.
Big favor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you think any of those people from your precious little deputy minister on down could survive a minute in the real world?
You're damn right they would.
They'd sink like stones, for God's sake.
Is everything all right?
No, it isn't.
Okay.
Morgan.
Just relax, Margie. You're one of us now.
Colossal Holdings. That rings a bell.
I thought it would, the way you scrutinize those financial pages.
Well, you have to, you know, when you're out here living the life.
All right, so what about Colossal Holdings?
Yeah, Colossal. The Citizen business page just maybe November 1985. Right-hand page, I think, below the fold.
Well, that narrows it down a bit. November 85. Thanks, Henri.
Always glad to help. Hey.
Oh, work. Something done. Any luck?
It is difficult to assess the probabilities. The database has failed to isolate the corporate entity in question, i.e. Colossal Holdings, Inc. This is the best I could do.
A whole month's business pages. Thanks, Sheila. Well, we'll give a good look to this. Thank you. Yeah?
The minister's office says the minister can't talk to you now, but he will send over a vidman tomorrow.
Terrific.
I checked to see if I was being watched, then examined the clues. They were clues, all right, but I didn't have the first clue what they meant. Somewhere in here was a way to save the blonde, the building, and the whole ball of wax. Somewhere in the city, someone knew. But if I phoned them, I'd probably just get...
a babysitter.
That's me.
Oh, sorry, my head's spinning a bit with this privatization.
I can see that.
Listen, I didn't mean what I said about your brothers. I know they probably have your best interests at heart.
Thank you for the apology, Gerald. But you might have been right. Well, so what's all this? Newspaper printouts?
Yeah, I have a source who says the key to saving Drit is Colossal Holdings, and there's something about them somewhere in here.
Colossal Holdings?
Yeah, the mega giant that's bidding for Drit.
And you think Drit is savable?
Well, it's worth a try.
All right. Let me help. Gerald. Gerald, did you see this? You remember Drew?
That used to be us.
Or we used to be them a few name changes ago. According to this, in 1985, Drew gave a grant to a company called Universal Microgiant. Here's the chairman of Universal Microgiant saying that his company is planning a big expansion program thanks to that grant.
What's that got to do with Colossal Holdings?
I don't know, but we might as well check it out. And why don't we get our people together? One of them might have an idea.
Now, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yes?
Would it be okay if I came in?
Sure. Please. You seem a little worried, Mr. Wiley.
Oh, poignant vidman from Minister.
How did that happen?
Self-produced.
How come?
Yours truly testing privatization concept at big corporate power breakfast.
Gerald, as you know, we are about to be sold to a private company. While this is in line with the aims of my government, it means the end of my appointment as Minister for Drit. I want to say it has been enjoyable working with you. Oh, hell, Gerald, we're doomed. Doomed.
Oh, there, Shoes. It'll be all right.
What?
I'm sorry, I was just talking to the TV set. In times of extreme crisis or privatization, I always talk to my TV set.
I have news. Universal Microgiant is a wholly owned subsidiary of Colossal Holdings Incorporated.
The fun people, remember that?
And the grant that Universal Microgiant got under Drew continues under Drit.
Get to point.
Well, don't you see?
Light at end of tunnel?
Do I detect, Mr. Wiley, that you feel less warmly somehow towards the monumental initiative of privatization?
Certain flaws emerged in privatization concept.
No job as hard-nosed private sector biggie?
Unaccountably.
Well, tell the minister not to worry. It ain't over till the fat lady sings.
Darkest before dawn?
Affirmative.
So Drit gives the money to Universal Microgiant.
Which is owned by Colossal Holdings.
Right. And Colossal buys Drit.
That's outrageous.
It's a bit like buying the hand that feeds you, but perfectly legal, Pierre.
Here it is.
Hello, Hank.
Oh, who left that coffee there?
Well, perhaps you could share it with us, Hank.
Yeah, of course. Economic Initiative Grant, BK 54783P to Universal Microgiant Limited. November 1985 to facilitate acquisition.
The bottom line, Hank?
Hank, this is very important. How many payments are there?
Oh, that's not fair.
Here it is, okay. It's a two-part disbursement plan. The first half has been paid, the second half hasn't kicked in yet.
They were waiting for the second payment to buy us.
But without the second half...
They can't buy us. Eureka.
I think the minister will be delighted to see this.
Well, why don't I tell him right now?
Of course, even if they did buy us, they couldn't buy us either.
How's that?
Because we wouldn't be around to give them the second stage.
And that's a good point.
No, it's not.
Who's Eureka?
Eureka.
Mr. Speaker, my question is for the Prime Minister. Oh, good luck. Will the Honorable the Prime Minister come clean with the Canadian people and admit that an entire government department, to wit, the Department of Regional Incentive Targets, is about to be privatized and sold to the highest bidder?
Mr. Speaker, speaking for the Prime Minister, who is unavoidably absent, I want to assure this House that the reports of the privatization of the department which I proudly represent are entirely without foundation.
Well said, well
Well, perhaps useful for her sake to explain shocking reversal reprivatization.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley, but that's all right. I understand it perfectly.
Good. Well.
Yes, Mr. Wiley?
Interesting, eh, Simmons? Those grants.
Those two-stage grants.
Two-stage grants.
Yes.
better explain two-stage grant setup to her.
Well, there's nothing to explain. Without the second payment, Colossal Holdings couldn't buy Drit. And without Drit, Colossal Holdings couldn't get the second payment. So it's a standoff and the deal falls through.
Catch 32.
After inflation.
Plain as nose on face.
It's too bad that you're not going to get a chance to work with those old school chums, Mr. Wiley.
Not nice fellows. Threw snowballs at me after Vespers.
What can I say? It's your tough luck, Margie. If you can't face real life, there's not a lot I can do about it.
Real life? In real life, all you real-lifers are up to your necks in government grants.
You let us down.
Well, thanks for letting me know.
You're welcome.
Would you care for dessert this evening? We have white chocolate mousse, orange...
Just skip the recitation. Bring us coffee.
Just a minute.
Coffee.
I feel like celebrating. What have you got?
Our special today is amaretto cheesecake with kiwi fruit.
Perfect.
Very good.
Don't forget the coffee.
Morgan, you had no call to be so rude to that waiter.
Yeah. There's no call to turn your back on your family either.
I've told you before, I'd rather be doomed to privatization than doomed to cutting crusts off little sandwiches. Thank you.
Where's the coffee? Coming right up. You know, we just thought this was a phase you were going through, Margie. We didn't expect you to turn out to be a traitor.
Oh, excuse me, but you didn't just call me a traitor.
Yes, I did.
Would you care to repeat that?
I wouldn't mind at all. You're a traitor, Margie.
What?
You're a traitor.
Must run. My family will look after the chick.
Would you care for some cream with your coffee, sir?
Do you take Diners Club?
Look, I got nothing against the private sector, Henri. Your operation is better than half the government shops in town.
I know. And no grants.
The last free enterpriser.
Mind you, I don't employ enough people to qualify, so...
Listen, you could. You could have wagons all over town and in Hull, too.
Ah, it's too much trouble, Gerald. Besides, I have a bit of a cash flow problem, as it turns out.
Oh, that's too bad.
Uh-huh. You could help, you know.
I thought you didn't take government grants.
I don't, but if you could settle up your tab...
Oh, I see. Well, how much is it?
$22.47.
Do you think you could carry that over until tomorrow?
Sure. How's 9 o'clock tomorrow morning?
How's 10 after the bank's open?
Agreed. We can't let money spoil our relationship.
It's a pleasure to do business with you, Henri.
As always. Salut.
À demain.